few weeks ago, we discussed the Orinda campaign, the final push of the Imperial Remnant against the New Republic. The Empire's aggression was kickstarted by the discovery of the Dominion and the Megador, two mysterious star dreadnoughts found in the abandoned shipyards of deceased Imperial warlord Blitzer Harsk. These ships, along with the Reaper, former Super Star Destroyer of Ardis Kane, harassed the New Republic until the Reaper's defeat at the Battle of Selenon and the damaging of the two other ships at Anx Minor. The Dominion and the Megador, however, would be repaired and were active until the Second Galactic Civil War, and in the case of the Megador, beyond. But what were these two ships? And I'd like to focus especially on the Megador, as it's the more prominent of the two, being directly commanded by Jacen Solo after his fall to the dark side. Unfortunately, we really don't know a whole lot about the Megador, though it surely was a fairly impressive ship. Darkness 3 describes the Megador as a Galactic Alliance Star Destroyer, though that's likely a description of the ship, not its class, as by this point the New Republic had reformed into the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances. It's often described as vast, it has 16 ion engines, and we know at least 50 hangars. The name itself suggests grandeur, but we also know that it must be a fairly substantial ship. It was used as a flagship by Admiral Pelion as he led the Galactic Federation's naval forces, and he had access to Viscount dreadnoughts, likely other Super Star Destroyers including the Guardian, and many other modern vessels. Of course, that doesn't mean that the Megador is superior to those other ships or the best ship in the galaxy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's likely no slouch. In Invincible, the final book of the Legacy of the Force series, we also get the following quote: "The Megador was a super-class Star Destroyer. It carried more than 5 times the firepower of a typical Imperial II, like the Anakin Solo, and there had been rumors of weapons upgrades, including 3 batteries of new long-range turbo lasers." Unfortunately, this also doesn't tell us very much. By the early to mid-2000s, authors were still using vague language to describe dreadnoughts. Sometimes superclass meant executor Super Star Destroyers, but more generally, it's a catch-all term for any type of Star Dreadnought. This time we can rule out it being an executor because of the 16 engines. We also can't really take the statement about how many times more powerful it is than a Super Star Destroyer too seriously. Comparisons like that are often really inconsistent, and I find authors don't have a good grasp for how powerful an individual ship is supposed to be. Still, as we see through its service to Pelion, and more so Darth Kydus, it's an almost immovable object with incredible turbo lasers, a fleet in and of itself. Like the Supremacy, its long-range turbo lasers allow it to pound at other ships before it's even within their range. The whole engine situation is also fairly interesting, but I'm not sure whether that's indicative of its size. It has more engines than the 13 of the Executor, the 11 of the Vengeance, and the 8 of the Eclipse II, though with 16 less than the Assertor's 28. So I don't really think there's a clear connection between size and the number of engines. Note that we also have the Dominion. It's not clear to me whether these two ships are sister ships, whether they're related, or perhaps whether each one is a singular ship within its class. And especially because the Megador was fairly prominent in Legends, I'm pretty disappointed that this fact was never cleared up. So what is the Megador in my opinion? Personally, I think it's likely that the Megador is a newer type of Star Destroyer, or maybe one of the, perhaps with the Dominion, only ships of its type. Where it actually came from is quite interesting. We know that warlords were really fighting to gain access to Star Dreadnoughts, and it was pretty uncommon for a single warlord to have 2. What's interesting is that both ships were found in the deep core. What else happened there? Well, perhaps the greatest collection of dreadnoughts ever, the Dark Empire campaign. I think it's likely that these two ships were either under construction by the Dark Empire or recalled from somewhere else as Palpatine returned. But what do you think? If you read the Darkness trilogy or the Legacy of the Force series, how did you imagine the Megador? And to everyone, how would you design the Megador and Dominion? How powerful do you imagine them? Are they a brand new ship, perhaps something like an Executor Mark II? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this has been Eckhart's Ladder. Until next time, may the Force be with you.